Fisker has agreed to go public through a merger with the blank check company. It's also announced a partnership with auto supplier Magna to build its first sports utility vehicle, the Ocean. Joining us now, Henrik Fisker, the chairman and CEO and founder of the company. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Look, we've just been hearing from the Daimler CEO. The German car companies have been on the back foot ever since Dieselgate, but they are now pushing hard into the EV space. It's a space that you are obviously actively targeting as well. You know a bit about what the German car makers are doing. Do you think the race is now on, and do you think you're in front or behind in terms of getting product to market? And once those German car companies wake up, how fearsome a competitor do you think they're going to be?
Well, you know, I think 7 years ago when Tesla started, everybody said that Tesla were going to die after 2 or 3 years when the big car companies came out to the market. And I think reality is, of course, they didn't. And I think we are ahead because we only concentrate on making electric vehicles. We don't have a legacy. We don't have to shed the heavy pounds around us. So that's number one. Number two, you know, this is a new technology that really takes a lot of effort. And you have to, it's a totally different thing to develop an electric car than a gasoline car. So there really isn't any advantages from, you know, a normal car maker today versus a new startup. And that's why this race is so exciting. And, you know, we are going into a segment which is very unique. It's a lower price segment, sort of the premium segment for under 40,000 euro. And we are kind of unique in that sense, making the first electric real SUV. And the partnership with Magna and the fact that we are a very asset-light company, we don't have the burden of dealer margins. We don't have the burden of giant overheads. So therefore, we can come out with a very price-competitive vehicle versus even some of the big auto giants. And I think that's the exciting part for the consumer.
Yeah, Henrik, the key to lower EV prices for the consumer are battery packs and getting that cost down. So where are you going to get your battery pack from, and have you secured the supply? So how do you know that you can deliver a car for $37,000?
So the key exactly is actually volume on the entire vehicle. And today, nobody is making over 100,000 vehicles of one single electric vehicle except for Tesla and maybe Nissan. So the exciting thing here is that we are actually partnering up with Magna that already have another large OEM using the same platform that we're using. And this platform was developed since 2018. So we actually have the bill of material cost already. 2 battery packs have been built into this vehicle from 2 of the largest battery manufacturers in the world. And we will have volume pricing because we are sharing this platform with one more OEM. And we may actually bring a 3rd OEM into this. So this is all about getting volume together and not alone. And that's kind of what's unique about this deal.
So just to be clear, you have secured a deal on the battery pack. That is signed, sealed, and done, yeah?
No, we have not signed, sealed, and done it because we're obviously still in negotiation on the volumes. But this vehicle has already been designed with a battery pack inside it, because you can't, you know, launch a vehicle and just decide on the battery pack later. This vehicle has already gone through durability testing. We already have the battery pack integrated into the vehicle, and it's from 2 of the largest battery suppliers in the world. And the other OEM have already negotiated their battery pack pricing, and we are just adding volume to that, and therefore we know the pricing already of the battery pack. And that's part of the bill of materials.
Henrik, who's the battery manufacturer?
We haven't announced that yet, and we'll probably wait a little bit for competitive reasons. You know, we're still more than 2 years away from actually putting the car to the market. We are showing the final production car next year in May, as we just announced this morning, and we may announce it in May next year.
In terms of why you decided not to go with VW, I'm curious. There was originally talk that you were going to use their MEB platform. Why did you not go with that?
So we went with the Magna platform simply because for us and for our program, it was the best platform for what we needed. So it has a very large battery pack that would allow us to be really competitive with Tesla Model Y, which is obviously the leader right now. I actually think we might be able to beat the Tesla Model Y in range, in the highest range version. And that's something nobody's done yet. Secondly, it's an all-aluminum platform. 3rd, we can put a 3rd row seat in this vehicle. And 4th, the entire business plan and model on this particular platform worked really, really well for us. It fit exactly in our business plan. It allows us to launch this vehicle for $37,500 in the US, and it'll be about 37,000 euro in Europe, which is extremely competitive.
And to harp on that just a little bit more, we were talking about the battery packs and when you may announce who the manufacturer is. What about the cells? Have you secured that supply? Because that's the input into the battery pack.
Yeah, so when I'm talking battery makers, I did mean the cell makers. So
Okay.
yes, it is two of the largest cell makers in the world. And as I mentioned, the other OEM have already negotiated the entire battery pack, including the cells, so we know what the pricing is already. And that's very unique for a startup, by the way, to know your build and material cost already. That's something no other startup can do, because when you start from zero, you actually don't really know. It's all estimates. But we already have that pricing because the vehicle has already gone under 2.5 years development, durability testing, et cetera. So that's kind of unique to be in this phase. And that's also one of the things I think attracted a lot of our investors, because we took it from a completely different angle where we are more like Apple Foxconn versus doing everything virtual integrated. And that gives us, I think, a huge competitive edge, and is a big differentiator to the rest of the industry.
I just want to try and nail you down a little bit. I'm just looking at what Magna produce in Austria, and I'm looking at a bunch of cars. But one that stands out is the Jaguar I-Pace, the E-Pace crossover. Is that the vehicle that you're going to be basically partnering with?
No, it's not. It's a unique platform that really hasn't been publicized yet. It's new. It hasn't started production yet. What I will say is one of the advances, as you just point out with Magna, is they were one of the first in the world to actually produce an electric vehicle. So they have all the expertise. They've already done logistics with high voltage batteries. They've already set up a lot of tools to put in, large, heavy battery packs. So that's another advantage. As a startup, we don't have to take the risk that we will have a slow ramp up. Magna ramps up extremely fast. We expect to be up to full production rate in 23 and produce at least 50,000 vehicles. That's a big differentiator. If you look back in history, and for instance, Tesla, it took them very long to ramp up because they had to learn to manufacture a car. That's something that we're not here to show anybody we can manufacture a car better than the large car companies. We're here to bring a great emotional and sustainable car to the market, which in fact, our aim is for this to be the world's most sustainable vehicle with recyclable materials as well.